Hey, Comfy Couch crew, it's me, Nikki, the host of Nikki's Comfy Couch. I'm a crisis counselor, certified life coach, and I'm giving you tips on how I went from being the lowest paid in a position to a six-figure earner. Today, I want to talk about something that I feel that a lot of people really need to hear. If you have been working on a job for years, being very diligent, and hoping that one day they're going to promote you, you need to stop. You need to make a plan to grow and do what it takes to get where you need to be. And it's going to require you to make some moves. And yes, it's scary, it's nerve-wracking, but it's what needs to be done. Throughout my career, there were times where I had to make some really bold decisions. I couldn't just sit there and hope that eventually they were going to see my value and that I was worth growing. And also, in many companies, there are not a lot of supervisor or manager positions. So the likelihood of people just growing by sitting down in the same position is not common. Sometimes you're going to have to fight for what it is that you want, but you got to have a plan. So I want you to make a growth plan right now, wherever you are, whatever position you're in. I don't care if you've been there 20 years. Like, I literally know people that have been in their job for over 10 years, over 20 years, hoping that someday they will be promoted, watching different higher positions pass them by, letting other people get promoted, letting people from the outside come in and take higher positions, and they're staying there upset, locked in their position instead of doing what they need to do. Let me tell you, whatever your fear is about looking for something better or advancement, you need to get it out your mind. You need to position yourself to be in place for when your advancement opportunities come. At one point, I actually told my job that, hey, I'm leaving. I don't like doing what I'm doing. It's time for me to go. And I ended up staying there for a while longer so I can help them, transition and get someone new to come into my position. And yeah, it was scary. Like, I had to do Uber on the side for a bit, like, to make ends meet, because I went down to part-time. And yeah, I did not have a job lined up, okay? But eventually, right when it was almost time for me to leave that position, another position came up that was more along my speed, and I was able to negotiate for higher as well. So, sometimes it is very scary, but you cannot just sit and be complacent, hoping that someone is going to look out for you. So that's my advice to you right now, for you to sit down and think of what's your goal. If you've been in your position for very many years, you need to think, okay, where am I going to start looking for positions that are higher that I can advance? And sometimes you're going to have to leave that organization and might have to go to a totally different company and then maybe have to come back. Sometimes that's what happens. You have to leave and come back. But if you speak to many successful people, they didn't just stay stagnant. They looked for opportunities and they were always growing. So sit down and make your plan. Okay, what is my plan for the next 6 months to a year? If you've been in your job 10 years or over, you don't see that you're being promoted, you don't see that there's advancement opportunities, where can you look for a job? What kinds of fields can you go into? What are the exact positions? What is the pay? Where are they located? How long are you going to give yourself in this current position before you move on to the next position? People respect people that know their value and are willing to do what it takes to get to the next level. It might seem counterintuitive. You might think like, okay, if you tell your boss, hey, I'm leaving, that they're going to look down on you, but people respect that. I'm sure even your boss, to get to where they were, most likely did not stay in the same position for very long. So you have to understand that and get that out of your mind. Some people think it's being loyal by staying in this position. Some people might fear, not knowing, what's the next step. Some people just get comfortable knowing that, hey, I know this job. I know the people here. I know what to expect. I really don't know what's going to come out from this new position. Listen, if you want to be successful and you want to grow, you have to step out on faith. You have to trust that when you put yourself in the position, that you will grow and you will be in the room to get whatever advancement opportunities you need. So again, first research what jobs, what positions, what industry you want to be in, look at how much they pay, where they located, and decide what you want to do. Another thing you want to do is network. Like, go to different events related to that industry and start networking with people. Like, that's a huge way to get ahead. So if it's a business expo, if it's your local networking, social type event, like get in the scene so you can be in the room with people that you can connect with to get where you need to be. I'm telling you, once you put yourself out there and you really have that confidence and know your value and what you bring to a company, it's going to show and you're going to get where you need to be. Do not be afraid. And sometimes it might be that you need to negotiate where you're currently at. You know, if you feel like, okay, I've been here for many years and not only am I doing my job, but I'm actually showing value in other ways. Yeah, let me ask and let me talk to them and see, is there a room for me to grow? Like, is there a growth path? Is there a path for growth here within this company or within this organization? There's nothing wrong with that. Again, you have to have the drive and know that you are valuable. Now, if you're an average employee just doing a job, then your next step might be to excel and become more of an asset to the company. Like, tighten up your skills so you can ask for more, because this is not for everybody. Just doing a good job at your current job is not good enough. You got to be someone that's an asset to a company. So not only do you do your job very well, but there's also other aspects about you that contribute to the organization as a whole, and management views that and they could see that in you. That's really key. So your next step might be that, like, hey, how can I tighten up in what I'm doing? How can I be an asset in other areas throughout the office and the organization at all? Overall, you know, how can I bring more value to this place that I'm at? I'm telling you, these types of things are what's going to make you really go to the next level. Don't be afraid. And sometimes it might be time to just stay in place and make your plan. It might be that, okay, I just started this position. Yeah, I might not be making exactly what I want, but let me stay here for a year or two so that I can use that experience and put that on my resume for my next position. And while I'm here for the next year or two, let me maximize it. Let me learn a little bit of this section, a little bit of what this section does, so I can just be well equipped and a well-rounded person that I know a little bit of everything, so that when I go to my next position, I can show the value that I bring. Now, I am going to talk to you and do videos about interviewing, because that's another thing too, and how you present yourself and how people perceive you, because it might be sometimes the way that you're being perceived by your coworkers or your management as well as to why you're really not being promoted. But once you start doing these things, I'm telling you, and start seeing what value you bring, you are going to come off as confident and someone not to play with, okay, in a respectful manner. So have a growth plan. I want you to sit down after you hear this video, take some time tonight or when you're free to make a growth plan. Where are you now? What is it that you need to do right now for the next 6 months to a year to get what you need to be? And always have a growth plan. Like, don't stop. You think the owners of the top companies are stopping? No, there's always something that they're trying to work towards. And you gotta have that mindset. Like, what can I do to grow? How can I be better? Because we all can. Even if you're a billionaire CEO, they're always trying to hit that next level. And you need to be that way too. Be confident in yourself and do what it takes to grow. Have your plan in order. Get into the rooms so that you can be blessed and get to your next level, because it's there for you. You just got to go ahead and get it. Thank you for listening to Nikki's Comfy Couch, and I'll see you next time. Toodles.